The Story of Frogbelly Ratbone by Timothy Basil Airing. In a dull, gray, endless place called Cementland, there lived a very special boy. This boy had a singular wish. He wished to find a treasure. Each day, the boy searched through heaping piles of junk that collected around Cementland. He found greasy toaster ovens, broken TVs, and wet, smelly socks, but no treasure. The only thing in these junk piles is junk, cried the boy. He was angry enough to give up when all of a sudden he spied something unexpected. It was a strange and wonderful box. Attached to the box was a wrinkled note which said, "Put my wondrous riches into the earth and enjoy." The boy pried open the lock with a twisty piece of wire and lifted the lid. The box was bursting with dazzling colors. "I found a treasure!" shouted the boy. He took one of the beautiful packages and tore it open. But inside the package, there was no bright colors at all. Just hundreds of tiny gray specks. Where were all the wondrous riches? But inside the package, there was no bright colors at all. Just hundreds of tiny gray specks. Where were all the wondrous riches? The boy wasn't sure, but he carefully prepared some earth. He sprinkled a few specks and waited 2 or 3 minutes. Nothing happened. Deeply dejected, the boy went home. He did not realize that the unguarded treasures were now in terrible danger. The next day, the boy returned to a horrifying sight. The specks had been dug up. "Thieves!" he screeched. In a flash, he had a plan. He ran straight to the nearest junk pile. There, he gathered those wet, smelly socks. He found moldy pillows, stuffing, and scraggly wires. He patched, buttoned, sewed, and zipped. Soon, a creature began to take shape. It had crooked, bony arms and a giant-sized belly. "You'll be finished in just a second," the boy told his creation. "All you need now is a crown." "Stand tall, Frogbelly Ratbone," shouted the boy, waving his hands like a wizard. "I dub thee King of the Treasures. Frogbelly Ratbone, 1, 2, 3. You are the monster who will protect the specks." "Monster!" said Frogbelly Ratbone. "But my dear boy, you've made me far too good looking to be a monster. And by the way," he continued, "my socks are very moist, and my underwear is rather prickly." "Sorry about your underwear," said the boy, But I need a monster to scare the thieves away from the tiny treasures. Frogbelly wanted to see the treasures. The boy handed him a package and let him read the note. Frogbelly sprang into the air. My dear boy, you have found some wondrous riches. We must put them in the earth, just as the note says. But I already did that, said the boy, and nothing happened. Well, we'll do it again, said Frogbelly. Frogbelly, Ratbone, 1, 2, 3. You must be patient, and then you will see. And so Frogbelly and the boy started digging holes. They also filled jars and cans and boxes with earth and sprinkled the specks into each one. They sprinkled specks all around Cementland, and when the sun began to set, it was time for the boy to go home. Watch out for thieves, he warned. He shook Frogbelly's hand and scurried off. Frogbelly stood all alone in the spooky shadows. The sky grew darker and darker. Those thieves will surely be back tonight, he thought. Just then, he heard footsteps. Someone was trying to move very carefully, stepping quietly on crinkled cans and squishy newspapers. Frogbelly waited, not making a sound. And at that very moment, sneaking through the junk piles were 3 thieves: a rat, a rabbit, and a fruit fly. They were licking their chops and adjusting their masks when an eerie voice floated to them through the darkness. Frogbelly, Ratbone, 1, 2, 3. The specks in the earth are protected by me. You must be patient, and then you will see. See what? Said the thieves. They were shaking in their tracks. And just then, they did see. A giant, scary monster with long, bony arms and smelly socks. Ah! The thieves ran for their lives. The next morning, the boy was happy to discover that Frogbelly had saved the treasures. What do we do now? He asked. Now, said Frogbelly, we must give the treasures lots of water. So the boy filled a watering can and he went to work. A few days later, the boy noticed something quite peculiar. The boxes were twittering and the jars and cans trembled. Look, Frogbelly, he said. Slowly and very shyly, the treasures were beginning to reveal themselves. The wondrous riches are here at last, Frogbelly exclaimed. Frogbelly and the boy cheered. From inside a junk pile, the thieves were listening. They felt terrible about having tried to steal such wonderful treasures. The rabbit jumped out of the hiding place and landed right in Frogbelly's arms. We'll never steal again, the rabbit cried. And we will return the specks we took, said the fruit fly. Please let us take care of the treasures, said the rat. So Frogbelly and the boy forgave the thieves, and now they were all part of the team. And as they watered the treasures to help them grow bigger, they sang together. Frogbelly, Ratbone, 1, 2, 3. We must be patient, and then we will see. Soon one flower appeared, then 3, then 100. Cementland is filled with colors now, shouted the boy. Just when it seemed that nothing better could happen, the fruit fly discovered a bright red strawberry. And here's a zucchini, cried the rat. Go ahead, Rabbit, urged Frog Belly. Pick the biggest carrot you can find and pull with all your might. That night, the 5 friends prepared a special feast, a feast fit for a king. 3 cheers for Frog Belly, Ratbone, 1, 2, 3, because thanks to Frog Belly, they were patient and they did see. The end.